Have you ever noticed that the hardest working people you know are often the ones struggling the most financially? What if I told you that everything you've been taught about hard work leading to success is not just wrong? It's a carefully constructed lie designed to keep you trapped in a system that benefits others. This isn't about becoming lazy or avoiding effort. It's about understanding why the work harder mentality is the very thing preventing you from achieving real wealth and freedom. From childhood, we're programmed with a simple equation: hard work equals success. Study hard, work hard, sacrifice your time and energy, and eventually the system will reward you. But look around. The construction workers breaking their backs for 12 hours a day. The nurses pulling double shifts. The delivery drivers working 7 days a week. These are some of the hardest working people in society, yet they live paycheck to paycheck. Meanwhile, someone creating a simple app, trading stocks, or building a personal brand online can earn more in a month than these dedicated workers make in a year. This isn't a coincidence, it's by design. Today, I'm going to expose the fundamental lie behind the hard work mythology, reveal why this belief system was created to serve others' interests, and show you the real principles that separate those who build wealth from those who remain trapped in the labor cycle. By the end of this video, you'll understand why working harder is often the enemy of working smarter, and how to escape the trap that keeps 99% of people financially dependent their entire lives. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. The hardest working people in any economy are rarely the wealthiest. Think about it logically. If hard work directly correlated with wealth, then manual laborers, healthcare workers, and service industry employees would be the richest people in society. Instead, the wealthiest individuals are often those who work the least in terms of physical effort. This reveals the first fundamental flaw in the hard work mythology. It confuses effort with value creation. The system teaches you to measure your worth by hours worked, tasks completed, and sacrifices made. But the market doesn't care about your effort. It only cares about the value you create and, more importantly, the value you control. Here's the critical distinction. There's a difference between creating value and controlling value. The nurse creates immense value by saving lives, but she doesn't control the pricing, distribution, or scaling of that value. The hospital owner, who may never touch a patient, controls the entire value chain and captures most of the economic benefit. This is why the work harder advice is not just ineffective, it's counterproductive. Every hour you spend working harder in someone else's system is an hour you're not spending building your own. But the deception goes deeper than simple economics. The hard work mythology serves a specific psychological function. It keeps you focused on input rather than output, on effort rather than results, on being busy rather than being effective. When you believe that virtue lies in hard work itself, you become psychologically invested in the struggle. You start to identify with being hard-working rather than being successful. This identity trap keeps you grinding in systems that were never designed to make you wealthy. The most insidious part? The system rewards this mindset just enough to keep you trapped. You get small raises, modest promotions, and social recognition for your work ethic. These rewards feel meaningful, but they're designed to keep you from questioning the fundamental structure that's limiting your potential. To understand why hard work keeps you poor, you need to understand the difference between labor and control. Labor is what you do. Control is what you own. When you trade time for money, Whether you're earning $15 an hour or $150 an hour, you're operating in the labor category. Your income is directly tied to your physical presence and effort. Miss work, and you don't get paid. Take a vacation, and your income stops. But those who build real wealth operate in the control category. They own systems, assets, and processes that generate value whether they're physically present or not. Consider these examples. The hard-working employee puts in 60-hour weeks and earns a steady salary. The business owner who employs that person might work fewer hours but earns money from every hour that employee works, plus every hour that all their other employees work. The dedicated real estate agent works nights and weekends, showing properties, and earns commissions on sales. The real estate investor who owns rental properties earns money while sleeping, traveling, or doing anything else. The skilled freelancer charges premium rates for their expertise and works constantly to maintain their income. The course creator, who packages that same expertise into a digital product, can sell it thousands of times without additional effort. This isn't about one being better than the other morally. It's about understanding which category builds wealth and which category keeps you dependent on continuous effort. The hard work mythology deliberately obscures this distinction. It teaches you to admire the grind, to respect the hustle, to value the struggle. But it never teaches you to question why some people's effort compounds while others' effort simply maintains. Here's the key insight. Wealth is built through leverage, not labor. Leverage means using systems, other people's time, other people's money, or technology to multiply your efforts. When you're working harder, you're often working against leverage. The wealthy understand that the goal isn't to work harder, it's to work once and get paid repeatedly. They build assets that appreciate, create systems that scale, and develop income streams that don't require their constant presence. This is why the advice to work harder is not just wrong, it's actively harmful to wealth building. Every hour you spend grinding is an hour you're not spending learning to leverage. The hard work lie isn't just about economics, it's about psychology. It's designed to keep you in a mental framework that prevents wealth building. When you believe that virtue lies in hard work, you develop what I call effort addiction. The psychological need to feel busy, stressed, and constantly productive. This addiction makes you feel guilty about activities that don't involve obvious effort, even when those activities might be more valuable. For example, spending time learning about investments might feel lazy compared to working overtime. Reading about business strategies might seem less virtuous than taking on extra projects. Networking and relationship building might feel less honest than putting your head down and grinding. But here's the reality. The activities that feel less like work are often the ones that build real wealth. The wealthy spend time thinking, planning, and strategizing. They invest in relationships, education, and systems. They focus on high-leverage activities that might not look like traditional work, but create exponential returns. This creates a psychological trap for hard-working people. They see wealthy individuals who appear to work less and assume they're either lucky, unethical, or lazy. They can't conceive that working differently might be more effective than working harder. The system reinforces this psychology through social conditioning. We celebrate the person who works 3 jobs to make ends meet, but we're suspicious of the person who earns the same amount through investments. We admire the entrepreneur who sleeps in their office, but we question the one who builds systems that run without them. This conditioning serves the interests of those who benefit from your labor. If you believe that wealth comes only through hard work, you'll never question why your hard work isn't making you wealthy. You'll assume you just need to work harder, longer, or more efficiently within the same system. But the real secret is that wealth building requires a fundamental shift in thinking. Instead of asking, "How can I work harder?" you need to ask, "How can I create more value with less effort?" Instead of, "How can I be more productive?" ask, "How can I build systems that are productive without me?" This shift is uncomfortable because it challenges everything you've been taught about virtue, effort, and success, but it's essential for breaking free from the labor trap. The wealthy don't work harder. They work on different problems. They don't optimize their effort. They optimize their leverage. They don't measure success by hours worked. They measure it by value created and controlled. So how do you escape the hard work trap and start building real wealth? It requires a complete reframe of how you think about work, value, and success. First, shift from time-based thinking to value-based thinking. Instead of measuring your worth by hours worked, measure it by problems solved and value created. This mental shift alone will change how you approach every opportunity. Start asking different questions. What problems can I solve that people will pay for repeatedly? How can I create something once that benefits many people? What systems can I build that work without my constant involvement? Second, focus on building assets, not just income. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket without requiring your active involvement. This could be rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, a business with systems and employees, intellectual property, or digital products. The key is to gradually shift your time and energy from trading hours for dollars to building things that generate money while you sleep. Third, develop leverage in everything you do. Leverage comes in 4 forms: financial leverage, using other people's money; human leverage, using other people's time; technological leverage, using tools and systems; and intellectual leverage, using knowledge and expertise. Every activity you engage in should be evaluated through the lens of leverage. Does this multiply my efforts, or does it just keep me busy? Fourth, invest in learning skills that scale. Instead of just getting better at your current job, learn skills that can be applied across multiple contexts and that don't require your physical presence to create value. This might include sales, marketing, investing, system building, or creating digital content. These skills allow you to create value that compounds rather than just accumulates. Finally, change your relationship with money itself. Stop seeing money as something you earn through effort and start seeing it as something you attract through value creation. This subtle shift changes everything about how you approach opportunities. The hard work mythology is one of the most effective control mechanisms ever created. It keeps people focused on effort rather than results, on being busy rather than being effective, on working in systems rather than building them. But once you see through this lie, everything changes. You stop measuring your worth by how hard you work and start measuring it by how much value you create and control. You stop trading time for money and start building assets that generate money without your constant involvement. You stop working harder and start working smarter, with leverage on problems that matter. The path to wealth isn't through harder work. It's through better thinking, strategic action, and building systems that work for you rather than you working for them. If you're ready to escape the hard work trap and start building real wealth, subscribe for more insights that challenge conventional wisdom and reveal how money actually works. Remember, the goal isn't to avoid work. It's to make your work compound rather than just accumulate. And that requires thinking differently about everything you've been taught. The choice is yours. Keep grinding in someone else's system or start building your own.